worthwhile LinkedIn Live, and I couldn't be happier today because I've got Mario with us today, and he's just Mario Alberto. He's just a great guy. I got to know him through LinkedIn Live. Everybody I'm getting to know who I think are great guys and great ladies have come through LinkedIn Live because I think it just allows everybody to be real in real time with real people, to have real conversation. And you'll see it for yourself, but Mario's one of the happiest guys I know. If you're around him, you got no choice but to get happier. And it really falls into our topic today, which is LinkedIn, do good to be good. With that, I'll introduce Mario. Share a little bit for the people who don't know you but should, and we'll get right into the topic. Mario, take it away.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your great show. I admire you very much, and I think you're doing absolutely phenomenal. This is exactly what we need in this platform because it unite people. And you know what? Good to be good. I love the terms because we are pretty much at the same frequency, and that
Mm-hmm.
frequency attract more good. You know, in my line of business, I always say that a positive person achieve more than the negative one just by the fact that they think everything is possible. And I consider myself a possibilitarian.
Oh, that's such a cool term.
Yeah, the possibilitarian. There is always a way, and if there is another way, I just make one.
Oh, well, that's so individual. And I want to invite everybody to chat. Chat's open. We've been having some fantastic interactions, conversations. People can come here with questions and leave with answers. Come here not knowing a few people and come up with some really great connections. It's our opportunity, Mario and myself, to bring this to you. It's your opportunity to get on the field and play for yourself and get all you can with what's out there. Create your own opportunities, not just wait for them because they'll come on their own time anyways. So you won't hurt the chances of what you're waiting for by going out and making some happen. And you may not even think about what you're waiting for if you're out there being active. So Mario, what attracted you to LinkedIn Live, to my show initially, and then what has changed? Because I was so impressed with what you said before the call about having your own LinkedIn Live. And I'm so gratified because everybody like yourself has experienced the same thing. And the funny thing is I'm only 7-8 months behind from when I didn't know anything. So when it really works and it works for you, you have confidence when you bring other people on. So Mario, what do you think?
Then what I started enjoying your shows. I think it started about 2 months and a half ago, 3 months, and I started saying, "Oh, this is interesting," And I start looking at you when you start doing the solo show, and then you start having somebody else with you and stuff. I say, "Wow, this is a phenomenal tool to really reach out to other human beings that they may have questions, they maybe want to be part of it, or maybe they want to join the conversation." And this platform right now is giving a great opportunity to become more human and more interconnected in our, not only in business but also in our social life. Like you say, you inspire me to open my own LinkedIn Live. I'm gonna be doing one on Friday and having topics which are very important to all of us. And I love to hear also from the audience what questions they have, how they think that being good, to be good, it really helps others. How can we really be the change that we want to see? We need to start from there, being that change. Like you inspire me to do change. I never knew about this, and thanks to you, now I see the opportunity to do more. So
Well,
thank you.
you're too kind, Mario, but well appreciated because it makes it all worthwhile when you can help others help themselves, and your benefit will come in time in ways you could never imagine. So to prescribe how you want to get taken care of doesn't make sense. But we've got some people here. Paul, who's a frequent guest, he's a great financial advisor. Uh, nice to see you again, Paul. Thanks for really making this program what it's starting to be, which is a real, let's say, place where people can come that's safe, that's positive, that cares. You know, most people, the only thing they lack is empathetic support. A lot of times they just don't have enough, backup, support system, support people. And this could be the great place for you. And believe me, if Mario could be here, anyone can be here. And that's not to take anything away from Mario. It's just to put so much praise on the platform. So thank you, Paul. We've got Kevin, who was here yesterday. Gotta love that human touch. It's sad how we prioritize texting so much, it ruins it, even if it's well-intentioned. Terrific point, Kevin, because people are people and they evolve over a long time. Technology changes by the second. People need to maintain a lot of their humanity, right? By being human with humans. And, my philosophy is if I can't do it, could we do it? So it's not even a choice. Sometimes it's just too big of a load and you need support. And it could be advice, it could be collaboration. I couldn't do the show without Mario today, the way this show is going to happen. And I know by the end of the show, people are going to network with people. If you see people on the screen, one of the benefits is visibility. Reach out, look at their profile. If they're aligned, connect. Come away with this show 3-4 connections, a couple good actionable takeaways, feeling better about yourself, maybe getting it into gear if you've been in neutral for a while. Dr. Marilyn's here. Thank you so much, Dr. Marilyn. We've been working together for about 3 years. And actually, it's been one of my first members of a collaboration group that I have that meets right after this broadcast. And it's really a working group where we just lay stuff on a table. Everybody's on Zoom together. It really works, and it's a great deal. Thank you, Marilyn.
Antonio,
yes.
What you mentioned earlier on, I think it's a very, very important topic that has to be shared. Everything for me, what I see in business, in leadership, in my family life, everything is actually emotional. We have an emotional connection with our employees. When I do business, I do an emotional connection with my partners, my business partners, with my clients, with everybody that I go there. Because I was asking the other day, what is the reasons that you go back to the same restaurant, the same shopping center, or the same shop all the time? It's because not because you're gonna get a product. You can instead get that particular product anywhere, maybe, or that service. But when you have that emotional connection with that waiter or with that bartender or with that lady in the shop that is selling the groceries, and you have that big smile and that hello, how are you? That really brings a unique sentiment to the equation of doing business or relating with others. And that emotional connection is what has to be implemented in business. Emotional connection for me, I think, have a financial value too. I will go back to the same place just because of that relationship with that particular waiter or bartender. It doesn't matter if the price of the glass of wine will be 2 or 3 euros more than the other place, but I feel comfortable. I feel like a home. I feel welcome, and I feel validated in a way. And that's what we all humans want. We want to have that feeling. And it's very important what you mentioned, because this is exactly what happened here. To do good, to be good. Absolutely.
Well, you picked out such a gem of an insight with the emotional attachment, because at the end of the day, it's what you feel, not what you think, not what you hear, not what you say, but what do you come away with? And is it a plus or a minus, right? If you let your heart guide your way, people nourish people, and that nourishment is felt. And because it's not that prevalent, people get attracted to people. The people put things in the wrong order. They want to make to do, like pay me and then I give you something. And in a commodity, a transaction, is probably that's the way it has to work. But in an emotional relationship, all you're saying is, I'm going to give you everything I would give you if you paid me the highest price to give you an opportunity to sample it. But more importantly, give me an opportunity to sample it with you to see if you're the person I want to spend time with, right? So there's no rush jumping the gun. And the key thing is, if you look at it, like if you build a highway and you let people enjoy it and see the benefit of it, you can put the toll booth in any time. And from that day forward, you continue to get value you've already demonstrated. And people know, if I give you $50 and I get 100 every time, this is a plus for me. Mm-hmm. And if you can't give them more than they pay, you shouldn't charge them anything until you get it right. So, that's the key, is everything is really about timing, patience, perseverance. Can you wait while someone eats a delicious meal in front of you and be happy for them without thinking I'm hungry? And that's the thing you bring here with do good and you'll become good. You don't start good. You start with nothing. There's a saying, everybody comes into this world with nothing. The worst they can do is break even. So, that's something to keep in mind. Paul, people are so caught up on AI, but there are things you just can't duplicate. Well, you know how you feel. My guide to success is based on happiness, not on measurement of material stuff. And, at the end of the day, it always comes back to family and friends. It really doesn't matter what you're into. It's who you're with that makes it all worthwhile. Paul, modern financial advice, exactly. Did I cover Marilyn? Thank you. Marilyn, truly my pleasure. Christine Feed, I agree with Kevin Kelly. Christine's a wonderful lady who keeps coming back almost every day and supporting this. And, when you support this, you support everybody on this. And look at the people like Mario, like Jenny Maxwell, like Tara Gooch, like Gretchen Skalka, like Marilyn, who would have never been doing these things. And now is going to open up horizons and doors for other people who wouldn't, and it's like everybody helping each other on the lifeboat, and building a community where the best thing is it's Microsoft and LinkedIn that's providing it all. I have no risk there. I have no responsibility, but all benefit. It's, it's like a huge machine. How do you use it? Okay, I agree with Ken. Have you read Bowling Alone, The Collapse and Revival of Community in America? That was written in the 2000s, and we are so much more disconnected on a human level now. Yeah, because technology has overwhelmed everybody. Everybody is so mechanical. I mean, I got 2 grandkids. They hardly even look at anybody anymore. They're playing with their screens and stuff like that. Dr. Marilyn has a great point. To be good is to be good, insightful. Thank you. And what we're talking about is universal. And that's another thing we can take advantage of. It's what's already in there, but is not being fortified and nourished. It's being diluted. It's being spread thin. Everybody says, I don't have enough time. And I say, how much time don't you have? Everybody has the same time. It's what you do with it. Mario, you're laughing, so you must have something to say.
Well, for me, the days of business to business have to be over. We need to look at a new way to see it, and have to be a human to human. That will be the way forward to start doing business. Because yes, this is a great tool, the technology. Who will think, when I was a kid, never passed through my mind that I'm going to be able to talk to you in America. I mean, here in France, like we're talking just across the room. And that technology helps a lot. But yes, it has also separated us a lot. And that the human touch has to be implemented back. And when you say, a lot of people, and it's true, I can see that, a lot of people say, I don't have time, but we all have the same 24 hours of the day. We
Mhm.
all have an opportunity to validate someone, to help someone, to think about yourself, to be grateful, and to be responsible for your own happiness. Because I do not need anything else outside but what is inside me to be happy, and to that happiness will level that energy, and we're synchronized with other people in the same level of energy. And this is when we start creating this global community of, yes, not only that I'm happy, but I'm proud of what I am, I'm responsible with me, I'm respectful with others, and that will bring more abundance, into our life. I think it is a fantastic thing what we do here when it says that people out there really need a hand. Yes, a lot of people need help, but the majority need to help themselves too.
Well,
That's another.
and if there's a support mechanism or a support location like we're trying to build here, everything here is work in progress. And, it's what we all make it. This is at the front end of something that could be huge. And I've been at the front end of a couple huge things, and I rode the wave. And I can tell you one thing, there's no feeling like being on top of something and just racing through things with total confidence and control. There's a saying, if you're not working on the edge, you're taking up too much room, and you got to lean in, you got to step up. Everything you've done has gotten you to where you are. And that's why I tell people, throw away your rear view mirror unless, don't look back unless you want to go back. Take where you are and go forward, look ahead. The past never should define the future. And people should never tell you what to do that they've never done themselves that you can take seriously. So, here's Christine again. So I told my twins who are 11 that one day they'd be integrated to machines like in the Matrix, and they were like, cool. Well, everybody's gotten the message, I guess, over time. And again, if you measure happiness, one thing I think me and Mario have, maybe me a little bit more, is we've got that old school traditional mentality. And the reason that's so important is I remember what I used to have to do to meet people, right? I used to go to conferences and trade shows and visit people's offices. It was expensive. It was arduous. It was limited, right? You only had so much time to do so much. And in LinkedIn, if you have enough going on, you can let everything populate the way organically it should, right? You want pull marketing, where based on what you think and feel, people get attracted to you versus what you're selling. And how do you know what you're selling unless you know who you're selling to and what they're, it's like, what are you, silly? It's like starting a car and jumping out. It's like, that's crazy. So what do we have?
There is a great question from Paul to you, Don, and I think I would like to know your answer too. What are your thoughts of happiness versus fulfillment? Then I would love to hear your thoughts on that one.
Well, I'll do it only if I hear your thoughts on it. How's that, Mario? And then Paul will get a double answer. Well, sometimes happiness is fulfillment. And sometimes there isn't a differential between it. Typically happiness is a feeling and fulfillment is an accomplishment, and if you're feeling happy, there's nothing like it. You know yourself what a great laugh will do for you and the people around you. People listen to your music, not your words. So if you get excited, if you're enthusiastic, how many times have you laughed when you were right next to somebody who was laughing uncontrollably and you never knew what they were even laughing about?
Yeah.
But it was contagious in a good way. And that's really the key, is how do you make your enthusiasm spread? This is like a lake. You drop a pebble in, it doesn't sink, it ripples. Everything you do in life is a continuum, not an outcome, right? If by Friday something doesn't happen, so what are you going to talk to Saturday about, right? Who are, it's like telling the wind not to blow. So yeah, what's your thoughts, Mario, on the happiness fulfillment question?
For me, happiness it has to be by far a choice. I can choose to be happy or I choose not to be. You know, I
Hmm.
I seen many people that have a lot of money, a lot of apparent success. When it comes to their career and the accumulated things that they managed to have over the years, their yacht, their cars, their mansions, and so on. But they are miserable. They are
Hmm.
absolutely unhappy with their life. My goodness, it's like a day eating the most sour lemon day and night, their faces and stuff, because they choose not to be happy, because they have a huge baggages to go. Their fulfillment, yes, is there. They manage to achieve their yachts, their mansions, their properties, their wonderful cars, and so on, and the lots of money. But if you choose not to be happy, you don't see life with a different pair of glasses, when everything that we have is being given to us for free. The most beautiful things in life are free. The most valuable things in life are free. Our health, our daily routine. When I wake up in the morning, when I go to bed, for example, and I put my alarm, that's faith, because I don't know
Hmm.
if I'm gonna wake up. So just to put in that alarm is faith. So that brings me happiness when that telephone rings and say, "Oh my God, another day! Here we go!" You know, and it's blank. It's a blank page. So I do not allow no one to hold my pen when I'm gonna start writing my own book. It's my life, it's my way, it's my happiness. Yes, I'm not saying that I can will be the happiest man on the planet. If I hit the edge of the bed, in the morning. Oh my goodness, no, I will not be. But I can choose to let little things pass. I can be the owner of my own happiness to decide what can affect me or not. Nothing, absolutely nothing coming from the outside can affect me, because it's nothing to do with me. It's coming from outside. I have the choice. So that's what I say, choice. Life is happiness is a choice, and the fulfillment comes with what you do with the happiness. You can get fulfillment by making many things, by helping others, by obtaining things, but definitely my happiness come from me. Nobody's responsible for that.
That's so poignant and profound in such a simple way, because you have to work at being happy. It's not a natural thing. It's easier to be unhappy because most people are, but do as you'd like to be done unto you, as well as, copy what people who are successful do, and you could do it yourself. So you're right, it's a choice. We've got Paul here. When I looked at the definition, it was about being content, and I've realized I'll never be content because I'm always growing, but I can focus on my purpose. At one point, I had all the stuff, you know, the mini mansion, you name it. And I realized over time, the more stuff you got, the more stuff got you, right? And pretty soon you're spending time on stuff that doesn't spend time with you or on you, and takes time away from the people and the things that are most important. And people do change. A kid playing with a 5-year-old playing with a toy is not playing with the same toy at 10 or 15,
Mhm.
right? So at a certain point, you got to optimize your priorities and get over whatever your needs were that you satisfied already, and get on with working and living. Christine is here, Paul Deutsch. Being content isn't always a negative. It doesn't mean settling. It means being grateful for where you are now and what you have now. You're so right, Christine. I mean, so wise. Uh, because, the key thing is, there was someone, I don't know if you remember, there's an old motivational speaker, Agmandino, and wrote a book. I think it was like The Richest Man in Babylon or something. And it was, anyways, he was giving his speech, which was his last speech actually, and nobody knew about it, but he did. And he said, how many people are millionaires here? And just a couple people raised their hand. He said, I'll prove everybody's a millionaire. He says, what would you give me for your eyes? $1 million? For your ears? For your legs? How rich are you? And he says, if that doesn't make you a little bit more grateful, take out the obituary and ask yourself, who would trade places with me today? You know, and you know, when you can understand that it's perspective, everything is what it is, you know, and it only stays around longer when you want it to or allow it. And it only takes advantage of you going forward if you don't leave it behind. So, you know, the key is, and we talked about this yesterday, it's not how many times you fall down, it's how fast you get up, right? And the more you fall down, the more you learn. You can fail your way to the top. We've got some great people here. I just want to recognize them. James Ryan, hi. Thank you, James Ryan. I know you were here, right here. Didn't forget you. And then, okay, I'll try to run through this. Yes, happiness is a choice, and we choose our thoughts. So exactly. Mike is here. Mike is an unbelievable guy. We met like a week ago. He got on he fell into this presentation, somehow joined. That day, he said it changed his life. We had a Zoom call, which lasted like an hour and a half. And things are moving quick. You know, it's like the boat is boarding. You know, anybody who wants to get on board, there's plenty of luxury suites that could take you to financial, you know, and time freedom if you can ride something this strong. Christine, yes, now you're referring to the disease of more. Yeah, you know, at a certain point, maturity, responsibility, and accountability have to show up, you know, or success will be fleeting and hard to duplicate. And the key is you don't want to build on sand, you want to build on rock, you know, and have something to last. You know, a little bit of short-term pain for long-term gain. Spot on, Dalcone. Stuff only means so much. Okay, hi. I'm just running through 7 scrolls. I'm reading it now. Okay. Hello from James Ryan again. So what, you know, we're about halfway into the show now, maybe a little bit more. So what are you hearing today, Mario?
Well, I see a lot of engagement from our people that are with us. I also hear a great conversation from you. Something that I want to touch back that you say is the times that we fail. You know, I cannot be happier for all the times that I failed. Failure, it has been the propulsion power that brought me where I am today, and I consider myself very successful. Thanks God. I have been a long way, a hard way, and a lot of work to get here. But I must say that it also has to do with all the failures that I had over the years. In that times, you know, I learned and I learned. I pick myself up and I keep going, and there we are. You know, and that makes a huge change in the life. When you choose to keep going, to learn from your own failures, to analyze the mistakes and say, okay, let me use this as a as a learning, as a possibility, you know, and use the same tools, because now I'm gonna do it again, but now I come with experience. So I'm not starting from zero. I'm gonna start from experience because I fail. I know how it feels to be in the floor, you know, in the middle of the mud. And I say, oh God, what happened? I didn't see that coming, you know. But then you become better. You become powerful. You become more focused. You start looking. Your eye vision become wider, and then is when things really happen. That's what the magic happen when you realize that you fail, that you are honest with yourself, and that you can move forward, pick up yourself, and say, I can do this, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be determined to be the best in that. I really, really, really enjoy that. You know, my failures are definitely one of the huge part of my success in everything I've done.
Well, you know, they say there's never failure, only feedback. right? So it's what did you
Yes.
learn, right? Not so much, because the only time you fail is when you quit. That's because you got to add the score up. There is no more game then, right? As long as you're in the game, it plays. No matter how far behind, you can catch up over time. I saw a wonderful presentation. Gentleman who was a Vietnam War vet, got his legs blown off on a landmine, and used that as inspiration to be one of the greatest speakers, traveled to 49 states, hunts, fishes, has 4 boys, beautiful family. And his last word was, if I can do it, couldn't you? Right? With what I had to deal with. And he's the happiest person you'd ever want to meet. So circumstances does not define happiness. Like Mario said, there's rich people who are miserable. There's people who have nothing who are happy, right? Who's better? The judgment. But my feeling is happy is better than sad, especially when, you were walking up the right ladder against the wrong wall. And that's what happens, is you end up with the result that, maybe you didn't even expect. But the other thing is I learned so much more on the way down than on the way up, because you can't understand how it could happen to you. You're right. How you did so well and you thought you were like really something. And then for reasons at your control or beyond, the floor falls out and you're in free fall. But if you do it enough times, you understand that's the way life works. It just works differently for different people, but everybody has to deal with it. And, let's keep going. Samira is here, always comments, really builds population. I released my newsletter last night. It's got over 1,400 views in just 12 hours and 10,000 subscribers. What I do there is I put every day's post from the week before, so everybody can go back and see the 7 days. I promote everybody who's participating. So like Mario's video will be on next week's newsletter. Then I'm also taking the best comments of the week and posting those to get you higher visibility, because this is exposure. This is credibility. This is third-party validation. Take advantage of it, right? If someone says, I can put you on the Super Bowl stage for 2 minutes, do it, right? And the more you do of the things you fear, the less you fear of things to do, and that's important. So we have a hello here, another hello back. Kevin's here. Wow, congrats. Christine's back. Failure makes you more appreciative when the pieces finally fall into place. And sometimes you need failure to learn what you would have never learned without it, right? There's a lot of proud people, a lot of people who give themselves way too much credit. And all of a sudden, when they got to be humbled. And the key to failure is, like Mario says, accepting it, learning from it, taking responsibility from it, and putting it in a drawer and forgetting about it and going back to work. Right? It's the next day. And here's the thing. If you're good, you don't have to be lucky. You just repeat the good you have. Right? So the next, it's like part 2. Part 1 was the high fly and to hit the deck, and now it's picking yourself off the ground, dusting yourself off, but you're better today than you were a year ago or 2 years ago. Bring the new you to the table. LinkedIn Live is a great place for reinvention, right? It's a new land, new language, new culture, new people. Nobody knows you. The only thing they're going to know is how you come across. And the do good to be good is the best door opener, because the biggest thing you need to compete with is fear and distrust.
And yourself.
That's right. You got, the game is between you and yourself, and you got to get out of your own way. Mike says, thanks so much for sharing. This is our daily Super Bowl. And I'm so happy. It's like opening up a gym. Every
I
day.
love it. I love that one. Thank you, Mike. No, I really love that one. Our daily Super Bowl. Wow.
Isn't that great, Mike? I mean, Mario, you got him laughing. What is that word?
Yeah. Bravo, Mike.
Really quick, Mario, just tell us what you do for your occupation, because that would be nice.
I'm a financial managing director of a company here in Europe, and I do also consultations in finance and business operation. Basically, um, I've been on this business for the last 32 years. That's when I lost my hair. But I do enjoy it very much. I do enjoy it very much. I have the opportunity to travel a lot with this business, to meet new people, meet new cultures, trying to understand, because it's not the same way of doing business in America, like in China or in the Middle East. And I need to understand also where the people come from and how is the perception of value for money, or their happiness. How to be good with them. It can be also based on their cultural way of life. So it is a very interesting life. I'm very, very happy what God gave me,
Well,
and I'm very, very happy with that.
well, and it shows. And like I said, it's a positive contagion that if you can get more people going, plus, I've learned that it's lonely at the top, and the more people you can bring with you, the more people you can celebrate. And that's another thing as far as, do good to be good, is find opportunities to celebrate, balance all those
Celebrate life.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because if you don't celebrate it, you don't remember it. Right? It could be just an ice cream cone that you say, hey, something really great happened. I'm going to treat myself, because you got to work at happiness. I mean, there was a week when I said, here's my test or experiment. How happy can I get? How early in the day? Right? Do I have to wait till 9 or 10 o'clock? And then I remember when I was a kid, and as a kid, you get disappointed or frustrated or not happy. And maybe your mother sees you and says, oh, let me get you some milk and cookies and sit down with you. And before you know it, you're happy you forgot what you were thinking. Well, that same principle works for yourself, but you got to serve yourself.
Mhm.
Take care of yourself. And, there's a saying, don't ask for a lighter load, ask for broader shoulders, right?
Bravo.
Step it up, stretch yourself. You can always do yesterday tomorrow, but you'll never know what today is until you give it a whirl. Plus, if other people are doing it, why are they doing it?
And I think extremely important is to realize that the only real moment that exists is the right now. I have no idea if tomorrow is coming. I have no possibility to change yesterday. That's gone. It will be only on my memories, and depending on the situation, some of them will be very close and dear to my heart. Other ones you maybe want to forget. However, the only real moment is right now, and this moment, this unique moment with you, Don, and with our people right here, never gonna happen again. So we need to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it to the max, and that goodness is gonna flow, and that sensational feeling is gonna bring you to the next situation that happened maybe in 1 hour and a half. I have a meeting after this, and I feel full of energy because I also it will be a meeting to close one of the business, or it will be good. So I feel already recharged by this marathon of Super Bowl that we're doing here. You know, so
Oh,
it is like an exercise in your energy and your feelings and your way of seeing life with a different pair of glasses is really bringing us one step forward to be good. And thank you for that.
well, my pleasure. And to do good, to be good, is not only an enviable, admirable approach, but it works the best. So isn't it great when you get the best results by doing the best for as many people for as long as you can, and let them taste it? Because there's a saying, it's better to be in the dark than move to the light and go back to the dark.
Mm.
Right? Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. They say you can't unring a bell, and it's the same thing in life. It's the little things done right over time. If someone says, here's a book, read it by next week, and it's 300 pages, it's like, no way. But if someone says, can you read a page a day? everybody can do a page a day. Maybe it takes you a minute. And what you
Mhm.
find is you start redirecting time, energy, and thought towards higher return vehicles. I mean, your time is your currency. How you invest it is the kind of return you're going to get on it.
Mhm.
And people worry about money more than time, and they run out of time before they run out of money, you know? And like Mario says, if you treat every day like it's your last and one day it will be, what could happen on one day? Nothing,
Nothing.
right? If this was done in a day, you wouldn't have to worry about bills. You wouldn't have to worry about anything, right? So why not live as if you're dying, right? And live
You know,
better.
I heard a story of our old lady. She she had a lot of money, and then she planned her death. You know, she said, "I'm gonna use all my money. I'm gonna enjoy. I'm gonna travel." And she went all around the world. She took cruises. She went safaris, and she done everything. And the day that she passed away, she have only $15 left in her bank account. Isn't that phenomenal? You know, she just didn't care. She just went for it, and she enjoyed everything as the last moment. And basically, somehow, she calculated that that's it, and she ended up with $15 left in her bank account. I found that, just sensational.
Well, and that, that's the key is use yourself up, but use it playing at something important, being part of something bigger than yourself, getting happiness when other people win while you're waiting to win. And by making them winners, you make yourself a winner because everything comes back to you.
Mhm.
I found givers get, and the more you give, and the first to give, and the faster and the bigger quantities, you get bigger returns, just like in the stock market.
Mhm.
Buy more stock, have more opportunity, right? You have more risk, but you see, there's the beauty of it. Giving goodness has no risk.
One
Having,
question for you, Don.
Mhm.
Eh, how do you feel yourself when you need to when you being not treated so good by someone? Do you manage to be good to them too, or what is your reaction when someone is not good, and they, how do you react to that?
Beautiful question. Well, what I try to do, I learned, is react, not respond, or respond, not react, right? Too many times something happens that triggers a response.
Mhm.
And if you had a day to come back, you may not respond the way you did. So, really, it's a matter, again, responsibility, accountability, taking control, not let any dream stealer, like you say, take your dream away or be responsible for your dream. Sometimes I just feel sorry for the person because, the thing is you can always say goodbye.
Mhm.
And sometimes goodbye is the hardest thing for people to come up with. And a lot of times I'm very thoughtful and considerate. When I was in business, I think for 10 years, I never had a legal bill. I never I mean, I did over 500 million in sales over my career and never spent a day in court. And the reason is I took responsibility. And I
Mhm.
understood kind of what the cost, the time, the trouble, the distraction would be, added it up and say, hey, I'll just layer a little, share what I would have had to pay in addition to move on. So
Mhm.
to your point, disrespectful people, I just walk away from. I don't pay attention to. I'm very forgiving because it helps me, you know, and I try to learn from something and ask myself, and here's a key question: what responsibility, how involved was I to create the situation?
Mhm.
Because it was your choice to meet with that person or get to know that person. It was your choice to continue a conversation that you might have fast forwarded and seen it where it was going. But what I will say, I will never hurt anybody.
Mhm.
If I can't make things better, I just go to someone or somewhere where I can. And life tells you things to do. You just have to be opening to listening. Here's Mike that says, It's all about being fully engaged in the moment. Absolutely. You can find a million reasons why not to do something, but who's fooling who? And then what's tomorrow going to look like? Kind of like today. So when you can pivot, when you can take a new position, and when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you usually do something about it. There's a saying, when the pain of holding on is greater than the fear of letting go, you let go.
There you go.
Right? And that's necessary, or, deal with it. Christine, when someone is not good, always take the high road. I've heard the saying, the high road is hard, but the view is spectacular. It makes you better for doing things that people don't expect you to do. Surprise people on the unexpected. A lot of times at work, I got to do 80% of the job to someone's 20, but we got it done.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be on the field. You're playing the game. The score follows you. Don't look at the score while the game's on, because it'll take you away. And that's the thing. On course, get back on course. In the old days, maybe still today, a rocket ship was 97% off course on its way to wherever it was going. But the gyroscope would always bring it back and keep bringing it back. And you've got to keep bringing yourself back to where you want to be, or reset the course. It's your mission. It's your trip. You plan it out. But more importantly is, what is this going to mean to the people around me? Because I always take that into consideration. With just me, I could have done a lot of different things. But when there's other people depend on you or appreciate you, it matters. Kevin, never give up. We all have difficult days. We should always remember every day is a new day. And, by sharing this, you reinforce it in yourself. Anytime you express something and make it public, you give it power, and you give it less power over yourself. So you release the power that's building up inside of you and free yourself, and I think that's so important, Paul. Now we're getting some comments that are 3-4 lines. I have this saying of treat people then better than they treat you. Integrity is about always doing the right thing versus when it's convenient. They say the definition of integrity is what you do in the dark.
When nobody's looking.
When no one sees you. That tells you what kind of character you have. Mike, multitasking is not a thing. Christine, officially a Mario fan now. See, Mario, you're going to have to come up with a T-shirt pretty soon or something, or a hat. I told Mario before he got on the show, and I knew when I was talking to Mario on our previous Zooms, he was meant for LinkedIn Live.
Thank you.
He's got a personality and a heart that you can't resist. And based on what we're doing, doesn't honestly take a lot because we're facilitators, right? If we were just coming here as thought leaders and I tell Mario tomorrow, you got to come up with a new strategy or you got to find something. All we got to do is share our trust, enthusiasm, good humor, and give people that little extra push to get them off center and on the right track. So, and when you have
to do the same. And to do the same.
Yeah.
Like I told you, Don, you have been my inspiration to do this. And I'm going to follow your step because I think it's a phenomenal tool to get people together. This LinkedIn is a beautiful way to not only do business and get contacts and network, but also to listen from other individuals' mind. Everybody's mind is just like a huge, massive encyclopedia waiting to be read. So then we can share things and ideas and go for it. No, absolutely love it. Thank you. Thank you, Don. I cannot thank you enough.
Well, this is just the beginning. That's the beauty of it. It's not like someone took a ride and they enjoyed it or a trip. This is the start of the voyage. And here's what's so important. It's visibility, accessibility that was always lacking in the past. LinkedIn promotes you when you go live. LinkedIn posts your content when you're done going live. And with that said, there's so many people that used to have to spend so much time writing a book, doing a this, doing a that, right? By the time the message is out, some of that information is obsolete and it's stagnant on paper. When someone can jump on a live, and I guarantee you there's 875 million people now on LinkedIn Live. A year and a half ago, there were 770 million. It grew by 100 million in a year and a half.
Wow.
The majority would love to have a show like this to go to for reference, for networking, for knowledge share, for empathetic support. I mean, we're about ready to close the show out, and I'm so gratified by how many people not only showed up. The Mario Gold, it only takes being real. Look at that. And these are people that could have talked about anything or anybody, and really praise Mario, for being a fan, for Mario Gold. That'll always stick. The power of the mastermind, so true. Loved observation. LinkedIn is dynamic versus publishing, etc. By doing it, I'm learning it. I could have never learned. I've done this now 7 months, 7 days a week. I haven't missed a day. That's 200 straight, and I've posted every day for 3 years. So I'm here. I'm where everything is happening, and I'm reporting every day, and I'm bringing the best people with me, and the best people have yet to show up even. That's what gives me the most confidence and hope, is what I've yet to learn this year and who I've yet to meet, because that's going to put rocket boosters on.
More people are coming into it. Absolutely.
Mario, why don't you, last words? And been a pleasure, real honor.
Real
Mario
pleasure
Gold.
also. Mario Gold. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Don, and thank you, everybody. I think it has been a lovely time. I really look forward for the next time, and also to the connections and to networking. I like to open myself to be available, like the Caesar salad in the menu is always there. So looking forward, and I wish everybody a absolutely phenomenal new year, with a lot of success and all the blessings from the Lord. Thank you.
Wow, I can't beat that. So I'll just say, same here. Tomorrow, come back 11 a.m. We've got Kelly that's going to be our co-host, another new person who came through LinkedIn Live. I mean, this is where it's at, and it's only going to speed up. So buckle up. Let's see each other tomorrow. And if you liked it, share it with people like yourself who could benefit from it too. Why not? That's a do good to be good strategy. Poonam's here from from Pakistan. Great lawyer out there. Thank you, Poonam. And with that, have a wonderful day.